On the left wing, Johnny Franklin. In the centres, 12 and 15, you've got Isaac Winter and Kobe Mason. 14, Josh Powdrill. And at number 15, Mike McNeil. Starting line up for Vancouver East. Number 1, we've got Juan Videla, James Kelly at the hook, Dan Cooper at tight head. In the second row, we've got Lucas Albanars and Regan O'Gorman. Back row of Michael Toole, Conor McCann, and James Catterson. George Daly at number 9. He'll be servicing Neil McLean. One wing, we've got Kishan Kernathasan. In the centre, Sean McKeown, David Dinbandu. And the other wing, we've got Jack Gelbart. And number 15 is Brian Fitzpatrick. Welcome all. Game's just got underway here. It is just started to rain here in the last 10 minutes, although it is kind of wet underfoot. So it is coming down. You might be able to see that on the cameras. But yeah, it's just starting to get wet. So we are expecting to be a bit slippy out there, so we might expect a couple of knock-ons similar to last week. The game has kicked off here, and it is a scrum for Van East. Welcome, Mike Devlin.
How you doing, Michael?
Excellent. It's great to be back here again 2 weeks in a row having some rugby.
Yeah, it is great. After so many months and months and months off with no rugby, so great to be back here with 2 weekends back-to-back. Some great rugby here coming up. This Vancouver Wave team surprised some people this year. Currently sitting 2-0, tied with Van East. No surprise that the Vancouver team's tied for second place thus far. Yeah, looking forward to a really good game here. I'm told Vancouver Wave have a really tough group of forwards, and Van East have the same. Vancouver Wave, oof, pushing that scrum around. Nice tackle made by the flankers, Michael Toole and Conor McCann. Oh, a little bit of a bobbled ball. James Catterson punts the ball down the field. Vancouver Wave still attacking. Looks like the scrum half, Thomas Villoen. I'm sorry you pronounce that exactly. Gets the ball out to the kicker, Jack Gelbart from Van East. Pass over to George Daly. Spins it wide to Kishan Karanathasan, who's contact made right off the hop. Looks like his opposite number, Josh Powdrill, running down there. Penalty called for Van East. Referee David Smorchevsky saying there was no release there from the tackler. I tend to agree.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a bit of similarities in the jerseys out there, Mike. It's going to be a bit difficult to distinguish between the two when the play's moving fast, especially in the close contact stuff. So I wonder if that will affect the referee at all.
See, I think there's a bit of a difference. One's white with slightly blue stripes. The other one's a real dark navy blue on the back fully, and most of the front. Almost like the UBC jerseys from a few years ago.
Maybe it's just my age. I'm definitely getting older, so maybe the eyesight's getting a bit weaker than it has been over the last few years.
A lot of people have been talking about how old you look.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh. Line out overthrown there. Corralled in by George Daly on the deck. George Daly going to go for the pass. Thought better of it. Van East keeps the ball in. Van East, of course, wearing the distinctive Burnaby Lake Rugby Club jerseys today to prevent the color clash, as certainly was doing with the Van East and Vancouver Wave jerseys. Their normal jerseys were a little too similar in color and design. So.
Definitely a bit scrappy so far out there. Like I said, it is wet underfoot here. The rain is currently coming down, so probably not going to see much expansive rugby here in the first 15 or 20 minutes where people just get their bearings on the game and the ball and the field.
Yeah, I know we talked about it last week, and I'm sure it'll come up here today. In spite of the really wet weather conditions the last few weeks, the field is in great condition. Pitch is in super shape, but, you know, it's definitely a wet and rainy day. So, you know, whichever team adapts to that and plays some tight rugby will probably end up pulling this one out here.
Good rip by the Wave there on the big Argentinian. Just shows you that the ball is pretty slippy there. They pull it out of contact. Ball pop there, and Vancouver Wave come out a little bit better off in this one. So, Mike, I was just looking at the table there earlier today. I believe, so the Pride are running this table at 3-0, and I believe these two teams are 2-0 2 for 3. Both have lost both to the Pride. So this is really the battle for second place, I think.
Actually, I'm going to correct you there. Van East lost to the Pride in week 1. Vancouver Wave have yet to play the Pride. So Vancouver Wave will be looking to keep pace with the Pride. Pride playing over against UBC over in Port Alberni today.
Thanks for the correction there, Mike. Another interesting stat that both 15s are kind of vying for the top point scorer and top try scorer. So Brian Fitzpatrick for Van East, currently the top try scorer with 6. And then we've got Mike Maloney playing 15 for the Wave with 45 total points. I think he scored 3 tries in total so far.
Adam McQueen sends Wesley on a crash ball. Tackle gets made. That's Jalen Ferris for the Wave. Getting pushed back there a bit. Nice tackle by Vancouver East captain Mike O'Toole. Ball going wide to, I believe it might be Mason, number 13. Didn't get a good view of it there, but nice crash ball, so it sounds like Kobe Mason. That's his general MO. Had a great career thus far with the UBC Old Boy Ravens since coming over here from, I believe, Australia. Heck of a good player. Great big body to try to tackle. It'd be tough for David Dinvandu to keep him in check all game.
Penalty for the Wave in a pretty good kickable position here. We'll see what they're going to do. Are they going to go for the corner or take the post? Oh. So Mike Maloney does step up there. As I said, he is the top point scorer of the league so far. I'm sure him and Brian Fitzpatrick will both be having a good jaw at each other today, so you can get one over on the other. So obviously the Van East team is made up of all Burnaby Lake players this year, and it was open to several other players, but we didn't have many people put their hands up. But interesting to note, the Waves made up, starting lineup has 6 Lomas, 4 Ravens, 4 Capellanos, 1 Scribe, and then on the bench they've got a couple of rowers and Squamish Axemen thrown in there as well as another Scribe. So they really have a good mix. It's good to see so many clubs coming together to be a part of this.
Kick is up, and it's through the uprights. That's Mike Maloney hitting the 3-pointer there for Vancouver Wave. Vancouver Wave up 3-0.
I think we're going to be saying his name quite a bit today. Mike Maloney. Hopefully we can be saying Brian Fitzpatrick just as much. He isn't the goal kicker for Van East, so we probably won't see him as much, but he is electric when he does get the ball. So hopefully we can see him in space today.
You got a ball?
I will note that Neil McLean, who's playing 10 for the Van East team, normally plays in the centre, so a few late-minute changes to the Van East team with a late injury coming on. But he'll do a job in there at 10. Good take by James Catterson under the high ball there. Secures it nicely. Oh, great tackle in the midfield there by Pat Zook. Originally from Alberta, playing at Maryloma Rugby Club this year. Great hit by the big guy in the midfield. It's great to see a prop just get his feet set and drive through.
Both experienced scrummagers, great scrummagers. Nice low height. Oh, big push by Van East. That should be a penalty, I would think, for Van East. I assume. No? Okay. Just moving back. Yeah, not a penalty.
They definitely had the advantage in that scrum, but the ref must have saw something else. Neil Courtney, you said, currently playing as Trade of Capellanos, 3-time Roundsville Cup winner with UBC.
Really? I didn't know it all 3 times.
Yep.
Great player.
Sure is.
One of my favorites, his current club, Capilano, which I believe he's also the captain of, either him or Chris Robinson, just finished 2 great games here at 1 o'clock at the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club with the Capilano First Division pulling away to, I don't know, 16 or 18 to nothing win over the Burnaby Lake First Division. Oh, there's a turnaround. Vancouver digs in a little bit and wins the penalty this time. So got away with one the first time and made something over here in the second one.
Yeah, it looks like the ref there, Dave Smorchowski, didn't like the height of the tight head here. He said he went down on his side, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Should be a good battle up front in there.
Yeah, it should be. I had 4 former Burnaby Lake and BC Bears captain and Rugby Canada player Anthony Luke could give me some information to pass along actually to the Van East tight head Dan Cooper, who's just a force around the ball, and hopefully Dan can use some of the information that Luke had identified to set a little bit deeper there in the scrums. Nice line out pulled off there by Vancouver. There's Colby Mason. There's the big guy. Brought down nicely by Connor McCann. Oh, ball bobbled a little bit. And an offside. Van East not getting a lot of love here from the referees.
Yeah, they just looked to be a little bit too eager just before the 9 actually had the ball out of the ruck. It might have been, it was either the captain or possibly the big Argentinian there, but they're just a little bit too eager. So the Wave will just settle this down here and make an attempt for 3.
Yeah, it looks like Maloney will be lining up here to add to the lead.
Mike O'Toole, the captain of Van East, just clarifying a few things with the ref. See if you can have a quick chat with his guys there, see if they can figure this out. You want to keep the ref on your side, especially the first 10 minutes of the game. Get him on your favor, and maybe then you can try a bit more. Mike Maloney going through his pre-kick routine here. Noted he was an Aussie rules player. Used to kicking a ball to that shape, but unfortunately this one's just sailed wide.
No, you don't see that very often. He's normally a pretty dead-eye kicker. Van East will set up for the 22-meter dropout. Let's see what McLean does. As Mike mentioned, normally it'd be Jeff Ryan taking these, but sustained an injury on Thursday night. He was trained a little too hard, which is not something you normally say of Jeff. But trained a little too hard, pulled something, and Colby Mason almost made the break, but Mike O'Toole was there to bring him down. A great tackler. Mike O'Toole, obviously the Van East captain, the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club captain, the current BC Bears men captain, and a former captain of the Burnaby Lake Junior program. Played with the club since he was a mini, and his father Jared also, though a fly half, captained the Vancouver Trojans, one of the two teams that merged to form the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club way back in the day. Jared did captain that team.
And he did attend UBC with Neil Courtney, actually. They were students around the same time, so he really benefited from that program under Coach Ramsey's. And I think, was he still there when Curry Hitchborn took over?
I think Mike and Neil both graduated when the year that Ramsey's had left. I don't believe either of them played under when Curry was the head coach of UBC, but yeah. That is actually, I was listening to a podcast there a few weeks ago. It was the Le Rouge Rugby podcast, and they had spoke about Mike O'Toole and Neil Courtney. They were doing a bit of a preview of the Coastal Cup. And, sorry, we'll break here for a second. Brian Fitzpatrick on the move. Gets pulled down there by number 14, Josh Powdrell. Big David Dimbandu with the ball. He can move for a big guy, too. A couple of great big number 13s playing against each other. Both have speed, both have power. George Daly pulls the ball out. Neil McLean with the fake. Loses the ball in contact. Nice tackle again by Josh Powdrell. That winger's having a great game. Seems to be involved in everything. Crashed up, I think it was Pat Zook. Well, another penalty against Van East. They need to pull that together, else that's going to hurt them. If they continue to give Mike Maloney the chance to kick 3 points or get them down the field with a boot, he's going to.
Yeah, that was just the tackler there, just hanging in there a bit too long, trying to disrupt play for a bit. When you make a tackle like that and you land on the ball side, you got to keep moving and get out of there as fast as you can.
Yeah, well, to go back, I was listening to the Le Rouge Rugby podcast. They were doing a bit of a preview on the Coastal Cup Rugby Championship here, and they'd mentioned both Neil Courtney and Mike O'Toole. Neil Courtney, of course, a longtime Capilano Rugby Club player. I believe since he was a mini, he's been around there as long as I can remember. And they'd mentioned that the captains of both Vancouver teams were UBC graduates, and had really talked up my friend Curry Hitchborn. And I couldn't help but think that Ken Robinson and some of those Capilano guys would have been just cringing and upset hearing how Curry helped to develop Neil and should get the credit for the two captains. So anyway, I thought that was funny. Curry probably won't, but he's a good guy. He'll get over. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, and I believe this whole competition, Mike, was a bit of a brainchild of Curry Hitchborn. I know he's been credited with a lot. I just wanted to do something a little bit different for the first half of the year.
It certainly was. He had the idea for it. He pushed it through. You know what? Got nothing but a lot of respect for that guy. you know. So this was originally not exactly endorsed by BC Rugby, though they've come on board. And, you know, not everything went smoothly. I'm sure Curry would tell you that himself. But he had a vision for it and forced it through, pushed it through by hook or by crook. He made it happen, and he's doing great things. This competition is supposed to be a step up from the Premier League competition and an opportunity for higher level players to maybe get noticed by the MLR or the national team, or there we go, throw not straight there. Van East will get this ball back. But it was a great idea. I think much needed, especially coming out of COVID. Some people might say that it was not a great year for it because a lot of uncertainty with the clubs themselves. But I think anybody who's watched the games really would agree that it's really been a bit of a breath of fresh air as far as the higher level of rugby goes here in BC.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, I know sometimes people are afraid to change. The league kind of pounded away with the same kind of system for a few years, and people were saying it was a bit stagnant at times, and players were leaving, and people it just wasn't exciting at times. So this is great to see something different, and give guys a chance to put their hands up for something a little bit different. Yeah, exactly right. If you're not changing and improving, you're dying. So this was fantastic. Nice big scrum there by Van East, which there we go. There's the penalty. No, a little bit of pushing afterwards. No need for that, guys. There you go. See number 15, Mike Maloney, right now in front of the broadcast booth. Gives a thumbs up, and he showed with great kicks earlier. Here we go. See if Van East can make a little bit more out of this line out. Yeah, their last line out didn't obviously go according to plan. Hopefully they can figure this one out. All get on the same page. As long as we're talking about people who were instrumental in the league here, I also got to give a shout out, or I'd be remiss not to give a shout out to the Vancouver Rugby Union president, Peter Muirhead, who stepped up and allowed there to actually be two Vancouver rep teams, both Van East here and the Vancouver Wave. So Peter, always someone that is looking for change and improvement, and well done to him. A great president, a great guy. Unfortunately, the lineup was pretty good there, but George Daly sailed that one over the 10 on the centre's heads, and it got a bit scrappy. So this is going to be a scrum to the Wave. Well, I'm glad you were watching the game. I started to forget there was a game on. I thought just you and I talking into the microphones. Maybe having a couple drinks. Sounds like more fun, but there is a job at hand. It's a shame we can't, the wires don't reach up to the clubhouse. You got to find a way to, the two of us, as well as Josh, who's over there on the monitor doing all the mixing and switching, could be in the nice warm clubhouse close to the bar. The future. We'll work towards that here. Maybe the 2022 season, that'll be us sitting in a couple of big cozy chairs in there, watching it on a monitor and just commentating over a few beers and maybe a log fire going in the background. Yes, I think a fireplace would be needed and a definite improvement at the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club bar. We have shuffleboard, but we're just low on fireplace right now. Maybe like a golden retriever on a rug in front of us. It'd be magic. We'll work towards that. Scrum to the Wave here. Oh, it's a bit messy before even the pre-engage was called. News in here from Port Alberni. Pacific Pride and UBC currently drawn at 10 apiece. Physical defensive game, I'm told. I'll get more updates as they come in. So, Mike, I will note Juan Videla, who normally plies a trade at tight head playing loose head. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in there. I mean, he's pretty versatile, and there he's marching forward on that one. Great scrum, but the Wave did excellent to get the ball out the back. I remember when he first came to Burnaby Lake, must have been about 10 years ago. He was a second row, back row, and Angel Chivadana saw him and saw he was from Argentina and immediately decided he was a prop just because he was from Argentina. And then Juan worked on himself and bulked up a bit, and I'll tell you, he is one strong guy in the front row. Yeah, I did scrummage behind him for a few years, and he's possibly got the biggest legs out there. They are mountains to try and get your arms around. Yeah, he's a big guy. Nice penalty one there by Van East. Vancouver Wave unable to protect the ball. See Brian Fitzpatrick looking for touch here. Got a decent boot on him. That finds touch. This is really going to be Vanny's first flurry into the Waves half. So let's see if they can get some good attacking ball off this. Obviously, the first line out they missed. Second line out went to hand, but sold over, sort of over the 10's head. Let's see if they can fix this here. Get a good midfield platform.
If you can't win your own set piece, you're not going to have a good game. That's for sure. Mike O'Toole took that one nicely. Looks like James Catterson with it now. Tackle gets made. They're pretty close to the touch line there. George Daly finds Neil McLean to Connor McCann. He's isolated there. Well, that's right, off their feet. Vancouver Wave off their feet, so getting pretty close to penalty range, or to Neil McLean's penalty range. Mike O'Toole deciding what to do here. I think, yeah, they're going for posts, so... maybe Brian Fitzpatrick taking these kicks. I guess outside of Neil McLean's range, and Fitzpatrick going to take this.
Yeah, Mike, I did see Brian Fitzpatrick does practice quite a few kicks. He's normally not the choice kicker, certainly when Jeff Ryan is on the field. But I guess he's going to step up and try and take the kicks today. I wonder if he's just going to take the long range ones and leave the easier ones to Neil McLean. We'll see. Hopefully, as the game progresses.
Well, we'll see if Brian Fitzpatrick can make some grounds on the league's top scorer, Mike Maloney.
I think Brian's all about the tries, to be fair. He's got a bit of flair in his play. I think he'd rather be the top try scorer.
Yeah, I definitely think he could end up as a top try scorer. He put the ball in his hands. He can really move. Kicks up, but it is wide. Goes to the back of the end zone.
Got about 15 or 16 minutes left in the first half here. Vancouver Wave leading Van East 3-0. Not a high-scoring game. It was raining when the game started here. The rain has just stopped, so it is still quite wet underfoot. It'll be interesting to see if they can get a bit more expansive in the play as the afternoon goes on.
Young Kishan Karanathasan corrals in that long ball. Kishan, of course, Tupper secondary graduate. Oh, Brian Fitzpatrick with a chip kick to himself. Oh, lost the ball. I think that's going to be called forward. Yes, it is. First start for the Van East team for Kishan Karanathasan. Came in as a spare last week. Named to the lineup for the first time. And gets a start today. So, again, kudos to Tupper secondary coach Joe Lee for developing a ton of good rugby players. And, Kishan today is playing now at the top level in North America.
Well done, Kishan. Yep, young player. Now he played his way up from third div, first div, and now obviously at that, you could argue this is above Premier level, so well done, Kishan.
Van East deciding what to do.
Yeah, they have a penalty here, and it's pretty much right in front of the post, so it'll be pretty odd if they didn't select to take the kick. Yeah, kick is called. Looks like Neil McLean's probably going to step up and hit this one.
Well, just like you said, Neil McLean taking the easy ones. It's a Mike Devlin way of gaining points and credit. Take the easy ones.
You got to pad those stats. This one's pretty much right in front of the post, so relatively easy kick. Oh, when he hits the post. Oh, the Wave struggled to gather it the first time, but now you have it. That was an unfortunate kick. You would have expected him to get that, Mike.
I certainly expected him to get it there, Mike. Off the post. I recall an old video of Cliff Mitten, who played Here's Rugby here at Burnaby Lake after retiring from Stade Francais, where Stade Francais went for the kick, bounced it off the post, and Cliff was there waiting for it and scored a try from it. That did not happen just now.
Yeah, I've seen that video. I'm sure Cliff smoked a few cigarettes after that one.
It's funny, every time I saw that video, it was Cliff showing it to me.
That is true. That is true.
An injury there to Thomas Villon. Do you know how to pronounce his last name? Villon. I've known him for years. Former youth development officer for BC Rugby and owner of a adorable pug who a friend of mine has dog sit from time to time and actually brought to the office.
I'm going to stab a guess at it and say Viljoen.
Viljoen?
Viljoen.
He's been in Canada long enough. He should be called like Gord or something. You should call him Gordy.
Originally from Pretoria, South Africa, also playing over at Merriloma Rugby Club. And it is known that he does speak in Afrikaans with Merriloma new head coach, Christian Easterhuizen. Those South African names are always tough to pronounce. But I am hearing a lot of chatter around the league, Mike. I know Lomas have seemed to have a lot of players on the go right now. I know lots of players out here representing the Wave team. New coach in there. It seems like they're certainly looking to be a contender this year. I know it's a bit early to tell, but they're certainly making some moves.
Yeah, I think so. From what I understand, Jeb Sinclair, from my neck of the wood in New Brunswick, has moved up from head coach to director of rugby. And, you know, he's a motivated guy and a rugby guy. He came up playing for the Fredericton Loyalists. Learned a lot, as I'm sure I know I did, from the great Malcolm McAfee, unfortunately passed away now, and Pete Pacey, about how to build a club and how to maintain it. So hopefully with Jeb in charge of the Lomas, they can get back to where they used to be, which was, you know, well, I guess maybe I don't hope that they become the dominant mainland club, but the second dominant mainland club. So kudos to Jeb Sinclair, and we'll see what happens once the second half starts and Coach Christian Esterhuizen, I'm not good at pronouncing the South African names, can actually get back and coach for the Lomas. So another big scrum won by the Van East team, and we're going for posts again. I might choose another scrum at this point, to be quite honest with you, Mike.
Well, I think this one's probably 5 or 10 meters closer than the last one. Should be able to slot this one with his eyes closed, but after hitting the post the last time, he might be a little bit nervous about it. Hopefully he gets this one, maybe settle him down a little bit.
5 or 10 feet closer, he's closer to the crossbar this time.
Yep, that is true. Oh, actually, Brian Fitzpatrick stepping up on this one, so they maybe give Neil McLean the nudge and said, you take a break, I got this one.
Sometimes it's just not your day, you know?
Yep, we've all been there. This is to tie it up at 3 apiece. The rain has just started falling again. And he slots that one nicely. Vancouver Wave 3, Van East 3. With about 10 minutes left to play in the first half.
Been a pretty entertaining game so far. For a low-scoring game, that is. A lot of big hits. You know, both Josh Powdrill and Colby Mason being the standouts there in the back so far for Vancouver Wave. And some big hits from Connor McCann and Mike O'Toole, the back row of Van East, keeping Van East on the front foot. It was the knock-on from Colby Mason, unfortunately.
Yeah, they chose to go short and down the middle with that restart. Put a lot of pressure on the hooker there, James Kelly, for Van East, but it did go forward off the Wave hand.
Still yet to see the first try of the game. So my guess is it'll be a short yardage try with 2 or 3 people hanging off them as opposed to a wide, expansive 50-meter run. Van East puts the big shove on. It should be... Oh, Catterson picks up the ball. Brought down by Viljoen and I believe it was Jake Aikita. Brian Fitzpatrick puts the high ball up. Straight out of bounds, and I guess he was outside the 22. It's coming back. Good break there for Vancouver Wave.
Yeah, they definitely had the ascendancy there in the scrum that Van East did, but because they got rid of the ball, no advantage was coming. I think they probably had held that one in for just half a second more. I think the ref was probably thinking about giving the advantage.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. I thought hold that in a little bit longer and draw the penalty because Wave were going backwards, and at some point they were going to start collapsing. Oh, nice steal there from Regan O'Gorman. Oh, sorry, Catterson. Apologies. Thought that was O'Gorman. McLean with the fake, takes it into contact. Colby Mason brought him down. George Daly looking for a forward pod. Looks like he's going to find Mike O'Toole. Vancouver Wave up fast on defense. Daly taking it himself. Brought down by Neil Courtney. Some nice counter rucking there by the Wave. But Jamie Kelly, no, doesn't give a fair chance to release the ball. Going to be a penalty to the Wave, and I would expect to see Mike Maloney. He's walking up to the ball now. I would expect to see him go for posts as opposed for touch.
Yeah, I think that was some good counter rucking. I think Vannies just took their head off. They thought they had the ball won, but they were all a bit high. The Wave counter rucked and were able to win a penalty from it. So good work from the Wave.
Yeah, definitely some good counter rucking done there by the Vancouver Wave. You can tell they're working on that at training. Vancouver East with another chance to steal here. Oh, overthrown. And bent arm penalty, I guess up. Didn't see what that was for, but definitely to penalty to Vancouver Wave. Courtney picks up the ball and gets dropped hard by O'Gorman. I believe Courtney heard at the last second that the hit wasn't on, or the hit up wasn't on, and O'Gorman didn't get that message coming in low behind him.
Looked a bit sloppy there. I'm not really sure what the communication is going on in there between the ref and the players. It's a free kick. Just tap and go. Get a couple of big bodies behind it. Oh, ball did skirt out there, but Naim was able to sweep it up. Some good counter rucking by the Vannies team. Nice hit around the breakdown by Lucas Albernez. We're going to pick and go again, though. Oh, pick and go right through the middle and makes a good 5 to 6 yards there.
It looked like a knock on. Yeah, Smirchevsky got that. Bobbled a little bit on the pickup, unfortunately, for it looked like Matthias Suez, longtime UBC Old Boy Raven.
Yeah, I think the wet ball had a bit of a factor to play there. And they say a really good pick straight through the middle of the breakdown, made a good 5 or 6 yards, but the next one just spilled forward. The Vannies team looked pretty relieved to get a break on that one. Hopefully they can get a big scrum behind this one and get it back into the other half.
Yeah, you got to assume the scrum will go well here for Van East, and can find McLean or Fitzpatrick to get that ball out of the 22 and into touch. Ball's in. Oh, ball comes out, and Vancouver Wave somehow on top of that. Number 12, Isaac Winter picks it up. It looks like Colby Mason crashing. Bills Owen to Dara Foley. Brought down by George Daly. Jack Gelbart wraps up Colby Mason out wide. They're trying to get him out of bounds, and it looks like they did. Oh, ball bounced off a Van East player, though. It's going to be a line out for Vancouver Wave.
Bit frantic D, but it's working out okay, so they'll take it. Hopefully Van East is going to have to put a bit of pressure on this line out. Wave look like they're going to opt for a short line out here as well. Keep a couple of players out in the midfield. Just a 4-man line out by the looks of things. Oh, and the winger comes in, and he's just short of the try line, or did he get it? Looks like the ref deemed it held up, I think. Oh, no. I think he's going to stop play, and he's going to go talk to his touch judge. This is kind of an example of what I'm talking about. I think Dave Smirchevsky is the closest man to what was going on there, but he's going to see what Shanda has to say on the sideline.
An important call here with about 3 minutes left in the half. Smirchevsky's call is, looks like he's talking to Neil Courtney. Unfortunately, we don't have the microphone hooked in here, so we don't know what he's saying. My assumption from the way that Mike Maloney is heading back is that it was held up.
Looks like he signaled for a free kick for Van East.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about there, Mike.
Now, did he signal for a free kick or did he signal for a goal line dropout, which is part of the new law variations?
I believe it's a goal line dropout. I didn't see that one either.
Did Fitzpatrick maybe kick it from the wrong line? Did he run out and kick it from the 5 metre instead of from behind the goal line? So that's going to be a scrum, the Vancouver Wave. I think that's what it looks like from here.
Yeah, I think you are correct. Way to be up to date on the new laws, the new law variations. As a third division coach, not something that comes up a lot.
Yeah, obviously the purpose behind the new law variations was to get more expansive running rugby. A couple of variations just to change the style of play, so there's less people in the line, not as big a collision. They want to see the ball being run more.
Well, as far as getting a chance to win the ball back, a scrum for the Vancouver Wave is about as good as the Van East can hope for, as far as the ability to get the ball back. So, if Dan Cooper and Juan Vidal can put a little bit of pressure on Pat Zook and Neil Courtney, good chance they can draw a penalty or get the ball back at their own feet.
Yeah, pretty big engine room in there for the Van East team in Lucas Albernez and Regan O'Gorman, a couple of big bodies.
Yeah. Vancouver Wave setting out well. Oh, ball's out. But the whistle's blown. I think it's going to be a spun scrum.
Just going to be a reset with that did change a few years ago. It used to be if you turned the scrum, it was automatically a turnover, but they did change that. So it's going to be still a scrum for Vancouver Wave. Adam McQueen and Isaac Winter just devising their plan here on attack.
Yeah, a little jealous there of the Vancouver Wave having the luxury of having a kicker like Adam McQueen not quite be good enough to be their kicker. Be the best kicker in almost any team in North America, professional or amateur, and not quite kicker enough to take the kicks for Vancouver Wave.
Yeah, just go to show you the caliber of players they've got showing up for this team. When he was probably one of the best kickers in the Premiership for a few years, and someone else getting the nod on this one.
Yeah, a lot of great players in the local Vancouver area. So he's certainly one of them. Originally from Alberta, I believe, went to UBC, and I believe he's listed right now for the UBC Old Boy Ravens. So they're doing some recruiting. Vancouver Wave just hammering away here with the forwards. Time's running out in the half. I believe whatever the next whistle is, probably going to be the try, and they score. That's a knife in the heart there, a dagger when you let the last play of the half. Last play in the half be a try. Looks like that's going to be Jake Ikeda, I believe, number 7, who scored that try. He was at least the last guy with the ball. Everybody seems to be shaking his hand. So Jake Ikeda with the try for Vancouver Wave.
Definitely a forwards try there, a couple of pick and goes. One of the big bodies was definitely behind it.
Yeah, that's good. They didn't panic. They kept the ball in hand and just crashed it up and crashed it up and crashed it up. That's how you do it. Too many times people get close to the white line and start panicking a little bit, and that's when you see the ball slide out, not tucked away properly when going into traffic. But Vancouver Wave kept it together and dove over the try line. Well done to Jake Ikeda.
Mike Maloney stepping up for the extras.
Mike Maloney splits the uprights. So that's 10-3, and boy, if that's not halftime, it should be any moment here. I guess next whistle. just based on the clock we have in front of us, it looks like the 40 minutes has come and gone. So, yeah, halftime should be coming up.
I hear the touch judge just communicating with one of the players. There's about 1 or 2 minutes left, he thinks.
He's not sure either. David Dinbandu going with the restart. Kicking by committee here. There's try scorer Jake Aikida getting brought down by Lucas Albornoz. Actually, Lucas has held him up. But ball's out. Here's Colby Mason going wide to Isaac Winter, I believe, with a ponytail.
Correct, yeah, Isaac Winter, number 12. I do believe the referee gave a call that this would be the last play of the game. He said there's just enough time for the kickoff.
Last play of the half.
Correct, sorry, the half.
Colby Mason again. Nice tackle there. Penalty called against Van East. Vancouver Wave have a chance maybe for one more. Assume they'll go for the posts here. I would if I had Maloney and McQueen in my back line.
Yeah, it looks like Maloney's. Oh, no, he's stepping up. I'm going to go for the corner.
Oh, Wave must have seen something in the lineouts, made them think they had an opportunity here to get it and maul it in. Or I guess the winger coming through the middle of the lineup. That was a pretty flashy play. Nobody was expecting that, least of all me.
Yeah, I've certainly seen that done at a few international levels, and it's impressive when it pays off. We're going to see if they can turn the screws here before halftime.
Ball taken down by Dara Foley. Lucas Albornoz brought him down. Cleared out by, looks like Matias Suez. Here's Isaac Winter getting closer. Tackled by Juan Videla. Jamie Kelly's definitely going to be deemed offside there. I'm not really sure why he thought that was on.
No, that looks like the referee has called something for the Van East team.
Oh, wow. Oh, maybe Jamie knew something I didn't. Well done, Jamie. Forget the last 30 seconds of everything I said. McLean content to kick it out of bounds, and that's going to be halftime. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. So if you're up in the clubhouse or somewhere else, go get yourself something to drink. Score at half is 10-3 for the Vancouver Wave. See you soon.
More than ever, it is important to get the viruses out. The CDC recommends using an air purifier to clean the air in your home and at work. This portable air purifier filters air 3 times better than standard HEPA filtration, down to 99.99%. The FDA recognizes it as a Class 2 medical device. We will deliver one to you today. Call now and ask us about our no-interest, easy monthly budget plans. We are a local company in British Columbia. Get the viruses out. Call us today and protect your family and staff. Purchase direct online at filterqueencanada.com. Today only, use promo code VIRUSOUT for 10% off and free shipping to anywhere in Canada.
We have like in our property we have like I also have 2 seconds behind. I'm actually scared. No, dude, like these things
No more than ever, it's important to get the viruses out. The CDC recommends using an air purifier to clean the air in your home and at work. This portable air purifier filters air 3 times better than standard HEPA filtration, down to 99.99%. The FDA recognizes it as a Class II medical device. We will deliver one to you today. Call now and ask us about our no-interest, easy monthly budget plans. We are a local company in British Columbia. Get the viruses out. Call us today and protect your family and staff. Purchase direct online at filterqueencanada.com. Today only, use promo code VIRUSOUT for 10% off and free shipping to anywhere in Canada.
There you go, wait. Probably, I'm like, this was like, no, I'm not gonna go. I meant like, should I come over there? Yeah.
Now more than ever, it is important to get the viruses out. The CDC recommends using an air purifier to clean the air in your home and at work. This portable air purifier filters air 3 times better than standard HEPA filtration, down to 99.99%. The FDA recognizes it as a Class II medical device. We will deliver one to you today. Call now and ask us about our no-interest, easy monthly budget plans. We are a local company in British Columbia. Get the viruses out. Call us today and protect your family and staff. Purchase direct online at filterqueencanada.com. Today only, use promo code VIRUSOUT for 10% off and free shipping to anywhere in Canada.
And welcome back. Second half just about to get underway here. Vancouver Wave leading 10-3 over Van East Rugby.
Yeah, a great first half. Really exciting to watch if you like forward rugby. Not a lot if you're a big fan of the wings, but or the wingers. But if you're a fan of tight five rugby, you know, smashing it up, looking at the guy 2 feet across from you, a great half to watch.
And for those that were still hanging around during halftime, we did our sponsors show on screen. Thanks to our sponsors, Emma.
Yeah, sure do. Big thanks to Coach Mountain Roofing, Full Products Canada, Mark Construction, Mike James from Dominion London, as well as I'm going to give a shout out to Underdog Productions, who's videoing the game today. Here we go. Kyle on the other camera. Much appreciated, doing a great job and making this work.
Yeah, just a chat with RJ at halftime.
Rugby Club was actually the 2011 First Division Provincial Finals. My last game of rugby.
Wow, and he came back for more.
He did. He actually gave me that video a few years back, so it's available on the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club YouTube page if you want to watch an old guy stagger around with a right knee that won't bend. Made scrummaging difficult, but you know what? We still won.
And that is all that counts.
Substitution made there for Van East with number 23, Darren McCrory, coming onto the field, taking off Shan Karen Atheson. Haven't been informed of any changes from Vancouver Wave. Looks like the same group in there. You'll notice if you're watching the game, number 25 for Vancouver Wave was Dara Foley. They're not wearing a number 5 this year due to one of their players unfortunately passing away during preseason.
Yeah, that was very tragic to hear about a few weeks back. Yeah, all of our thoughts go out to everyone involved in Moreland Rugby Club, losing their number 5. So paying respect to them by not wearing a number 5 jersey this year. Nice gesture.
Yeah, it was. The Dan Wigley, the player who unfortunately passed away, very well thought of, had represented BC on occasion, and it was very important to the Mariloma Rugby Club, and obviously made an impact here with the Vancouver Wave in the early going. So they are not wearing number 5 this year. Instead, they wear number 25.
Line-out team not straight there by Dave Smarchevsky. Pretty easy call. I think it was on the outside arm of the lifted player. So it's going to be a scrum to Van East. They're going to see if they can assert the same dominance they did in a few of the scrums in the first half. I think they definitely had a bit of a nod in the scrums. No, there was a few went back and forth, but I think Van East will feel they had a nod in the scrums overall in the first half.
Yeah, they definitely had the advantage going forward. It's an area where I would be confident if I were them.
Great shot of George Daly there, number 9, with massive biceps, busting out of that jersey.
So vascular.
James Catterson with a good pick going down the blind side. A couple of players latched on, able to secure the ball.
Catterson, a really good addition to the Burnaby Lake Rugby Club. Came there just at the very beginning of COVID. Had played with Neil McLean back in Northern Ireland, and also an alumni of Queen's University of Belfast. A great rugby club, or a great rugby team, which I believe, I'm told, is actually touring Canada this summer, though they're staying in the East, in Toronto and Montreal, I believe.
Yeah, so both James Catterson and Neil McLean, they played their trade originally with Oma, which is just down the street where I'm from in Derry, both in Northern Ireland. And all three of us did play at Queen's, not at the same time, obviously. I was about 10 or 12 years ahead of those guys.
You're in one of the black and white photos on the wall, I believe.
Correct.
Nothing but thick cotton jerseys.
I remember the days well, showing up on a Saturday, still hungover from the night before, and playing some rugby.
You're talking about this morning?
No, that's been a few years since I've done that.
The scrum there, Juan Videla and Dan Cooper definitely winning the battle up front. I think Vancouver Wave might have been fortunate not to get a penalty there, as the front row kind of went straight down right off the hop. So we'll see how much Smorchevsky lets them get away with that there for the next little bit. Always tough in that front row, especially when you're going against another big front row. It's like hitting a brick wall, and sometimes you end up slipping up, unfortunately, but that usually is a penalty. There's the penalty there now. So we'll look and see if Fitzpatrick or McLean find touch here. Looks like Fitzpatrick going in with the kick. So on this type of wet day, you would think there'd be a lot of scrums. That's got to be somewhere where Van East really applies some pressure there, and at every scrum, working to get themselves a penalty. So they can boot the ball downfield and gain some yards.
Yeah, I think with the tight five, as big and strong as they are for Van East, they won't be afraid to knock the odd ball on here or there, because they certainly have the advantage here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a guy like Brian Fitzpatrick, he's a five-tool player, as they'd say in baseball, but not usually a points kicker. So I think they feel a little more comfortable if they had Jeff Ryan in the mix. So in lieu of that, looking for touch, getting the big boys pushing the ball forward through the maul, or on the scrum would be the way that I would play it for sure.
Van East go to the front of the line up here. Front of the line out, sorry. Set up a maul. James Catterson does break free. See if they can secure that rock. Oh, the Wave are latched on pretty good there, but they did get the ball.
Yeah, Wave made a few substitutions there. Looks like number 19, Dave Matthews, and number 18, the pride of the old Library Square pub, Ryan Chapman from the Vancouver Rowing Club, has come into the mix, as well as number 20, Brian Moylette. Oh, he's wearing long hair now. Not a terrible look. Not something my father would like if I had the hair myself, but he pulls it off pretty well.
There was a penalty in the midfield there. Looked like that was for offside. Yep, just giving the signal it was for offside. So Brian Fitzpatrick's going to step up the looks of things and try and put this through the posts.
We'll see how this goes. If he slots this one, I'm behind the kicks. Anyone who played with me or for me knows that I was a big fan of taking 3 points anytime they'd give them to you, but if your kicker's iffy and you got some guys the size of Juan Videla and Regan O'Gorman, Lucas Albornoz, James Catterson, there's some big guys in that Van East pack. So, hitting touch and driving it in, not always the worst idea if your kicker's not 100%.
This one is pretty much in front of the post, but it's a bit more than a chip kick here. He's probably about 40 out, maybe just under that. Strikes it well.
Got the distance. Straight through. That's 3 points from Brian Fitzpatrick. So that's going to draw the game a little closer at 10-6. So the more scrums they are, the better off Vancouver East is going to be in this game.
I will note it has stopped raining again. In fact, it did brighten up slightly there, so we might see a little bit of expansive rough. We didn't get a chance to see it much in the first half, especially when the rain came down.
Again, coming out of that end zone, I just assume Adam McQueen would be taking the restart every time. But again, Mike Maloney, the preferred kicker for Vancouver Rugby. Just 10 meters. Great pickup there by number 11, Johnny Franklin. Oh, the pride of Capilano.
That was a fantastic kick. Went just beyond the 10-meter. I think the Van East team thought it wasn't going to go there, and they were a bit slow to react.
They probably should have taken a step forward and found out that it was going 10, but taken nicely by Johnny Franklin, whose brother Sam just played here for Capilano at the 1 o'clock game, and I had a great game. He was I think he was number 12 or 13 in the game you played in there, Michael, and he had a fantastic game as always. Both Franklin brothers, just really talented rugby players, just born that way, I assume. Great rugby players.
That was sub Dave Matthews knocking that one on. Might have been his first touch, so he's just going to try and get himself settled into the game a bit. Going to be a scrum for Van East.
Does he have a band? Dave Matthews?
I've heard of it.
Heading back here for the scrum. Looks like it'll be Van East ball from the original knock-on. So, you know, all things being equal, that play couldn't have worked out better for Van East. There we see Brian Moylette going into 8-man for the Vancouver Wave, and Ryan Chapman up front there with the headgear. Longtime cook, bartender, bouncer for the Donnelly Group here in the city. Haven't seen him in a bit, as haven't been out as much since COVID shut everything down. Catterson picks up, goes to George Daly. Big Jack Gelbart on the outside. No, didn't find his footing. No one told him to wear long cleats today. Probably shouldn't have to, but someone should have. Nice box kick from George Daly. Puts the ball out of bounds on the bounce.
Yeah, that was a really nice kick there by Daly. He only had about 5 meters to play with between him and the touchline, and find it had the bunch in, obviously, because he was outside of the 22. Bunched in field and took a turn out, so really nice play.
Yes, it was. Ball goes to the back, tapped by Regan O'Gorman. Connor McCann comes up with it. Thomas Viljoen on top of him. Sound funny saying that name? I feel like I'm getting it wrong no matter which way I say it. Jamie Kelly makes the break. Oh, ball spills out there. Goes forward. Big Colby Mason has it. David Dinbandu and Sean McCown bring him down. Looks like we're coming back to the original knock-on. Referee David Smorchevsky brings them back.
Yeah, I think that's possibly the best outcome for the Van East team, to be honest. No, getting a scrum inside the opposition half rather than them getting the advantage and moving forward. They'll probably apply some big pressure on this one, so they can move the Wave team back, maybe even get a penalty out of it if they don't steal the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Again, with Juan Vidal and Dan Cooper up front there, they're going to feel pretty comfortable at this scrum, Van East is. As far as a 50-50, get a penalty, steal the ball, or Vancouver Wave's going to win it, because that's what they're supposed to do in a scrum.
I think we're going to see the Wave just dig deep here, try and lock in, not try and move forward. Oh, no.
A big push from the Wave. Ryan Chapman in the front row making a difference. Ball goes out of bounds there. Be set up here for a line out for Van East.
Yeah, Ryan Chapman, he said, came in there originally from Rockland, Ontario, plays with Vancouver Rowing Club, and goes by the nickname of Chappie.
Chappie, you know, and I knew him as Chappie. Back when the Donnelly Group were possibly a little larger sponsors of local rugby, back when they were primarily in the bar business as opposed to the marijuana business. A lot of rugby players worked between Library Square, Cinema. Ryan Chapman, one of those guys that for a long, long time did just that. Real nice guy. Number 16, Pete Ingoldsby from Capilano has entered the game at hooker, so Matias Suez is off. Penalty for Vancouver Wave there. Not releasing from the Van East tackler. Let's see if Maloney goes for points or taps it out of bounds here.
Yeah, definitely a series of unfortunate events there, Mike. First, the line-out sailed right through the hands of Regan O'Gorman. Very uncharacteristic of him. And then looked like Van East thought they had the turnover. They had a jackler locked in, but the ref deemed that he was not legal. So it's going to be a penalty to the Wave. Not an easy kick here, but he's going to step up and give it a go here. Mike Maloney, number 15 for the Wave.
This is definitely within his wheelhouse. I know he's 1 for 2 so far. But if I was a betting man, I would say this one's splitting the uprights.
Well, Mike, I'm a betting man, and I will bet you a drink after this game that he misses.
All right. I'll take that.
I would bet you a Guinness, but the clubhouse has been unable to attain Guinness recently since COVID, so we're going to have to try and fix that.
Ball's in the air. And it's through. Someone owes me a beer.
Congrats. Congrats to yourself, and congrats to Mike Maloney.
Yeah, it was a nice kick. Good. David Dinbandu getting ready to restart. A lot of bobbling around there. Tackle made by George Daly. Maloney clears the ball with a big boot. Straight back to Brian Fitzpatrick, his opposite. Fitzpatrick is going to pop the ball up. Close to the touchline, stays in bounds. Maloney with the the bounce kick. Takes a hit afterwards. Looks like Fitzpatrick ran into him there.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice waiting on that kick from Fitzpatrick. He did spot that Maloney was sitting a bit deep, put it in front of him. Maloney decided not to go for it in the air. So Fitzpatrick had half a chance to get there, but they just kind of collided each other, and the ball just skirted off Maloney. But Van East with the line out, so they'll be pretty happy with that.
I think so. It hasn't been the most surefire thing for them thus far this game. So if they could sort things out a little bit in the lineout, might be a little closer. They might have the lead, but as it sits now, Vancouver Wave ahead 13-6. About 8 minutes through into the second half. Won, but not cleanly. Neil McLean comes up with it. Gets taken down promptly. Ball picked up by Catterson. It's in through to Darren McCrory. Getting pretty close to the touchline. It looks like he's being pushed out of bounds, though David Smorshevsky stopping play.
A little bit of afters there.
Didn't see what started it.
I think there might have been a trip, but it looked pretty accidental on behalf. I think it was the number 7 there for the Vancouver Wave. Maybe tripped up Neil McLean. He did put his hands in the air to say, "Oh, didn't mean that." I'm not sure if that's what caused a little bit of afters, or if maybe something else happened in there.
Well, we'll see what the referees come up with here. Referee David Smorchewski speaking to the touch judge Brad Schwalger on the far side of the pitch. The Wave seem to be all back 10. They seem to think a penalty's coming their way. I'm sure it won't be much more after that. I would think a penalty at most.
Dave Smorchewski having a quick chat with the Wave captain, Neil Courtney. Yeah, it looks like they're coming all the way back to the original spot of the trip, whether it was deemed intentional or unintentional. It looks that's where they are, so it seemed like that was the foul. So they must have had advantage there. And they're going to take a shot.
Well, if they'll let you try for 3 points, you might as well take it. And from this far out, it's not the worst thing, even if you miss the kick. You know, end up trapping them in their end zone, their own 5-meter line. Hopefully, for tackling's on anyway. Trap them down there and maybe get the ball back in an advantageous position.
I will note there is a slight breeze coming against Brian Fitzpatrick on this one. Kind of just picked up here tiny bit in the last couple of minutes. So certainly not going to be an easy kick at this distance.
Now, we have been fortunate with the weather today. I know it rained a bit during the third game, a little bit during the first division games going on, the women's and men's first division game, but it's been clear for most of the Coastal Cup game today, so couldn't have asked for better. Right now, if you look out on the field and you didn't know that it's been raining for the better part of 2 weeks, you'd think it's a great day for rugby out there.
Yeah, and a great day for all the geese there in the background.
There is one ton of geese in the background. Struck wide. We'll see what the wave goes. Others content to let it go at the back of the end zone. Mike, is it called an end zone in rugby? From football, we call that area the end zone. I feel like it's called in goal in rugby. Isn't? Try to be accurate here.
That sounds pretty accurate to me, Mike. End zone. Yeah.
End zone, yeah. Not just in goal area. I feel like it's called the in goal area.
In goal if you had to touch the down, but it went past that. So to me, that's the.
Well, yeah, I meant the area, behind
Okay.
the goalpost, in between the goalpost and the white line. Ball taken cleanly by Sean McCown. George Daly passed the ball to Brian Fitzpatrick. He's a danger guy, but he's going to get wrapped up there. Lucas Albornoz wins that ruck. No, some counter-rucking there by Vancouver Wave. Dan Cooper falls on it again. They really need to get that ball out. They're really giving themselves a lot of credit for their ability to protect the ball with one man over it. Big tackle there on Lucas Albornoz. It was the captain, Neil Courtney, with a great tackle. Big kick down to number 11, Johnny Franklin. It's going to go wide to Brian Moylette. Brian Moylette with a big boot. Takes a bad bounce there. Moylette seems to think it went out. Didn't look that way from our camera, but he's pretty confident. Nice deep ball. Looks like it bounces out just inside, just around the 5-meter line. Smarjewski calling timeout. A lot of people yelling at him there. You have some people from the Wave talking about a previous kick, and the Van East team celebrating that kick.
That was a fantastic kick from Brian Fitzpatrick. He was pretty narrow on the angle there, but put it right inside the 22. Got a very favorable bounce. Went into touch.
Well done there with Underdog Productions. And from our previous angle, we had an umbrella in the way, and luckily we got lots of cameras floating around the field here, so they went to a better angle. Great job, Underdog Productions.
That looks like Doug Breeden coming in here as a substitute.
Who's going off there for Breeden?
Looks like Lucas Albornoz coming off. Not sure if that was tactical or injury-based, but Doug Breeden, recent father to a baby Isla Margarita Breeden. Congrats to Doug. And his lovely wife Amanda, or Dr. Ribeiro, as we know her.
He married well. Ball bouncing around there at the back of the ruck. Daly finds Neil McLean, who unfortunately slips. No one told the Van East players to wear long studs today, it seems. All prancing around in soccer cleats.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a day for the longer studs. It's been raining for 2 weeks, have you said?
Oh, definitely, 100%. I only ever played rugby in large, high-top black cleats. The uglier, the better, with big, long studs. So I also didn't run fast enough to slip. So it was never a big concern of mine, but I feel like if I was a back, I would have recognized that I need longer studs today, in spite of the conditions, good conditions of the field. See Orgoman barreling forward. Van East crashing there, trying to draw a penalty after with all these phases. Oh, Catterson makes a bit of a break, but is eventually brought down. Here's Daly again, going to be looking for Videla and Kelly. Oh, takes it himself, a little chip kick, and can't see.
They maybe had the advantage there, so I think Daly saw that, so he thought he'd try a little kick through, see if he got a bit of advantage there, but no, they had the advantage.
Coming back to the penalty anyway, right in front of the post. What would you do here, Mike? You got a penalty right in front of the post. You got Fitzpatrick. He's been kicking the ball well, but not 100%, but you're right in front.
You know what? I would probably take the scrum, but the question is just because we're going to win, if we could win another penalty in the scrum, is it really that much of an advantage, or do you want to just set your backs free here?
Fair enough. I think they're going to go for post.
I do hear the
points.
coach calling scrum from the sideline,
Really?
but Mike has called Mike O'Toole, captain there, has called for the points.
Well, I think that's the right call to make. Hit 3 points here. Now you're only down by 4. An unconverted try will put you in the lead. So.
And I thought you were a forward, Mike.
I was. I'm taking pity on the front rows. That's how much of a forward I am. At this point in the game, even if you're winning all the scrums, that's still pretty tiring when you got a guy in front of the post that can score 3 points for you. So take the 3 points, get the ball back at your own 10-meter, and go again.
Brian Fitzpatrick, number 15, for Van East, stepping up.
He's really thinking about this one. Ooh, just curves it in. You know, he's a guy of a man of theatrics. You know, not going to make it easy. Wants to put the put the fear into you.
There was quite the reaction from the sideline here. Everyone gave a bit of an ooh or an ah or something. That one almost got outside. But 13-9, we've got a game here.
Yeah, really close game. So we'll see how the replacements made by Vancouver Wave affect things. But been a heck of a game so far. So it doesn't seem like the quality of them thus far in the first few minutes they've been on has been a drop from the original guys. Obviously, names like Brian Moylett, certainly well-known and well-known for being quality players. Not sure about Dave Matthews. Only know him as a great singer. Well, that ball didn't find touch. Neil McLean picks it up. Might be isolated there a little bit. George Daly's going to find Regan O'Gorman here. Moved it over a little bit, maybe get a better angle for the kicker to get it out. Counter-rucking by Vancouver Wave has been fantastic today. They're all over every breakdown.
Yeah, I will say I think that's probably 2 weeks in a row where maybe Van East have been under a bit more pressure than they expected at the Rucks. They definitely had a hard time last week as well. But, I mean, they did come out on top, so hopefully they can do the same here today.
Yeah. There's Sean McCown over to David Dinbandu. Isaac Winter was right on him, but it's Jack Gelbart all by himself there. Yeah, Vancouver Wave were up fast on that. Dinbandu tries to barrel through. At least they've cleanly won the ball there, Van East. Yeah, they're all over the breakdowns here, Vancouver Wave. Good job to them, whoever's coaching that in their group. Oh, David Dinbandu knocks the ball forward himself in the ruck.
Oh yeah, the Wave like that one. They're getting their backs up a bit and looks like they're getting in their face a little bit. Just getting a little bit messy here.
Feisty group, the Vancouver Wave.
And Connor McCann in the middle of it.
Also feisty.
He could fall out with himself in a phone booth, Connor McCann.
Rarely when you talk to yourself do you get into arguments, but he does. Let's see if the Wave can hold the scrum in together here. They had pretty good luck on their last one, so we'll see. Good battle here on the side closest to the camera with Ryan Chapman and Dan Cooper. Ball's in. It's at the back fast. Oh, you see Juan Videla. Oh, there we go. George Daly with a steal. I was going to say you see Juan Videla pushing through on his side. But the Wave did end up getting the ball out. George Daly hit Thomas Viljoen pretty well. And Van East ended up getting the ball. We'll see what the call is here. I caught something a little off the ball stuff with Doug Braden pushing through the ruck, and he and Jake Aikida having a bit of a shove on the ground. We'll see what touch judge Shandad Asma saw. Speaking to Captain Mike O'Toole. Neil Courtney over. Looks like might go against Van East. Probably for going through the ruck. Yeah, penalty for the Vancouver Wave. Courtney with the ball. I would imagine we'll see Mike Maloney take a shot at the for points here. Going for, okay. Well, again, if I was the coach of a team with Adam McQueen and Mike Maloney, I would definitely be going for points right now myself. But I guess that's why they don't let me coach.
Maybe the captain is just thinking we're going to close this one out here. If they can see if they can go for 7 rather than 3.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Josh, how's the other view then? The Brian Moylett in the middle, taps it back. Taken in by Jake Akita. Wave going to try to crash it up here with the forwards, it looks like. Some counter ruck coming in from Van East, making it a little tougher. Bill Jones sends the ball out to Colby Mason. He's the guy they're looking for right now, the big body to smash through in the middle, but taken down cleanly by Connor McCann. Now through to looks like Ingoldsby. Adam McQueen to Neil Courtney on the crash ball, taken down by O'Toole. Now Dave Matthews, the distinctive ginger beard. And a penalty against Vancouver East. Brian Moylett with a quick tap, and put down hard by Connor McCann. Well, what are you supposed to do? You know, some guy runs into you, might as well put him down.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, Connor McCann wasn't 10, so it's going to have to be a card.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to his pocket. Bad time for a yellow.
Now, the other question is, did he wrap? Because it could. Hopefully, he just keeps out of the yellow here. But if he didn't wrap in the tackle, he may go a bit more. It may end up being red, but I hope not.
Well, yellow will have an impact on the game, especially this close to the try line, or red would have a major impact on the game.
Approximately 10 minutes left in the game.
Looks like just a penalty or going to the card now. Yeah, McCann definitely getting some type of card. Just a yellow. Well, not the worst situation for him, really.
I think Connor McCann's seen a few cards in his day. Definitely plays on the edge.
That he does.
Had the pleasure of meeting Connor McCann's parents last week. Hopefully they're watching a live stream this week from back. They're back in Ontario, I believe, but they were here, and they were absolutely lovely people. I was very surprised.
Well, you know, Vancouver Wave have taken the scrum here. Obviously, Van East down a man, so this will be a test for Cooper and Videla in the front row. Van East original front row still in. Not made any changes, and why would you, I guess, when you're winning all the scrum battles? But this will be a test for the big guys here. And a test for the Vancouver Wave front row of Courtney, Chapman, and Ingoldsby.
Yeah, definitely the higher up in the level of rugby go, it's very rare for front rows to play more than 60 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see if that has much of an impact.
Great scrum here from the Wave, pushing forward. Oh, eventually gets pushed back. Oh, smart shot. That's a late penalty call, I'll tell you. Oh, Van East are going to need a bit of luck here to get out of this without any points scored on them.
Yeah, the Wave are definitely in the ascendancy here over the last 5 or 10 minutes.
They choose scrum again. They'll be looking to win this and hit Colby Mason on a hard line coming through right through the centers. Here's the put in. No, blown up.
Yeah, the Wave definitely had the advantage in the last scrum.
You see in the background the distinctive beard of Glenn McKinnon of Capilano Rugby Club. Getting on there in years, but certainly would not look out of place, and I would also say probably stand out at this level still. So former Canada U20 player and maybe the best back row to never play for Canada national team.
Yeah, I haven't played against him earlier today in the first division game. He's still up there with the best of them. He must be on the north end of 35 these days.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He's got to be about 35 years old. Jersey's a little tighter maybe than it was in years past, but I'll tell you, he's still got the skills, and he's a big body and great club guy for the Capilano Rugby Club. I know coaches has coached the women over the years, coached juniors and high schools. Just the type of club guy that you want. So.
Yeah, and definitely a smart player, and that helps as you get in the older years. Having a good rugby brain.
Yeah, exactly. So the end of last scrum there, Brian Mollett picked up and got pretty close to the line. Unfortunately, his offload just a little far forward, so Van East will have the opportunity to get out of their own end here if they can win this scrum. I guess they didn't put a man in, so James Catterson picks it up, gets driven back by Viljoen. Looks like they're closer to their own goal line now, so they'll try to go again with another... no, there you go to Neil McLean. Not a great pass. Not a great kick, right to Johnny Franklin, a good attacking space. Johnny Franklin, not a great pass over to Colby Mason. A lot of great things happening here right now. Oop. Josh Powdrell finally brought down. Wave attacking inside the Van East 22. Adam McQueen with it, taken down by Darren McCrory. Looks like ball spilled forward.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Adam McQueen's name quite as much as I thought we would have. Seems to be just distributing the ball, not really attack the line much himself today.
There's a big moment here. Van East can win their own scrum and get the ball out, or if the Wave's going to push them over. Van East down a man in the scrum. I'm surprised that they haven't put someone else in on the other flank. If you're just going to try to hold the scrum and look for an exit anyway, why would you not put a winger on the flank, Mike?
I guess they probably thought they had a strong enough scrum that they didn't need it. They could go 7 versus 8.
But after the last time where that wasn't really the case, then what?
Yep. Great question. Great question.
Thank you. I pride myself on my questions. I'm ashamed of my answers. Well, an important scrum here. If Wave end up getting the ball back and get over the try line. Oh, well, win their own penalty. That is a huge moment for Van East. Going to give them the chance to get out of their own 22 and have an attacking line out.
The call seemed to be for an early push there from Vancouver Wave. So I would say that was a bit lucky on behalf of Van East.
Nice boot there by McLean, taking him up to about the 10-meter line.
Looks like a sub coming in for Van East. Hooker coming in, and Dylan Vermette.
Yeah, that's a good switch right now for what they need. Vermette's a bit of a line-out specialist. Might possibly not add as much around the park as Jamie Kelly, and obviously give up some weight in the scrums, but the kid, generally speaking, has a great line-out. Nice drive set up by Van East, and taken to deck there after a few steps. Well, McLean to Darren McCrory. He's then pushed back here by Winter, and looks like McQueen driven way back. Wave pouring over the ball here. Looks like they might have a turnover. Looks like they do. Viljoen pulling it out. Cooper with a big hit on McQueen. Brian Mollett all by himself. Mollett looking for a penalty there. I don't know. Is that someone actually going to call that one? He slid as much as was pulled down there myself.
I think he may have been hit late after he kicked the ball by Juan Videla, the prop. I think the referee's just going to check with the touch judge and see what he has to say.
Looks like he drew the penalty regardless.
Yeah, it certainly looked a little bit late. The ball was kicked before Juan Videla made contact with him. And he may even have the choice of where it happens, where the ball landed or where it was kicked from. So they may get pretty close to the line. Brian Fitzpatrick seemed to think it was their ball, but he was mistaken. Oh.
Well, that's a tremendous opportunity passed up for Vancouver East, and a great opportunity right now for the Wave. And are they not taking the 3 points?
No, they're going to put this one in the corner. They're going to, again, try and see if they can probably maul this one in. They've got all the forwards in there. It's going to be a full man line out. So, yeah, we're probably going to see a maul off this one if they can get it set up. Van East try and bring it down fast to disrupt. Do a good job there. It's now going out to the backs. Oh, David
Whoa, that was a hit.
With a fantastic tackle. Well timed. Oh, did he deem that it was no wrap maybe?
Well, there was no way that was a penalty. Was it?
Well, he's blown over something, and he's going to come and have a chat with the touch judge. Again, this is probably the 5th conversation he's had with the touch judge. He was the closest man there. Again, this is probably my biggest criticism. He's just too keen to go to the sideline rather than make a call for himself when he's right there.
Well, that is some harsh criticism, and possibly correct.
Time has definitely run out on this one. We've only a couple of minutes left. Vancouver Wave up 13-9 over Van East. And this could be a crucial call. Van East do currently have one man in the bin for Conor McCann's indiscretions earlier. And there's possibly a chat about another one going in here. I see Mike O'Toole, the captain, pleading his case that no, he dipped. He tackle looked good from his perspective. Ref's going to go chat to the other sideline here. No, he's just getting the mark for it. Just a penalty, no card.
Is every big hit a penalty now, Mike? Is that just a rule? Every big hit that brings a crowd to his feet has to be a penalty?
It certainly seems like that's the way it's going. Back in my day, blah, blah, blah.
Getting closer to soccer now. The dives and any hit's a penalty.
When they took the rucking with your feet out of the game a few years ago, I knew it was game over for me.
Again, that was also when I hung out. That was my last yellow card, actually, was for just that. In my defense, the guy was hanging over the ball.
The good old days of mountain climbing during a game, I remember those well. And always finish the game with a few rake marks down your back or your head or whatever.
Always, right through that thick cotton jersey.
That's why we wore them so thick. On our clock, this is time, but I'm sure there's been a couple of minutes for a few stoppages. So there's 1 minute he's calling. So Van East have one more chance to attack. They will need to get a try here. In fact, they will need a converted try just to tie the game.
Maloney makes a 3.
Oh, looks like Courtney knocked that one on in the tackle. Did gather it well, but then did knock it on. So Van East do have one attacking platform here in the last minute of play. No advantage coming, so they do have the scrum. Jack Gilbert on the wing here, trying to call the 10, let him know that there's no one on the outside, and he's got a bit of space if he wants to kick it in over the top.
Well, big scrum here for Van East. Back to full men there with Conor McCann on. Catterson to Daly. Going to go to McLean. Darren McCrory. Finally brought down, lifted up, down there from Colby Mason. Daly out to Regan O'Gorman. Makes a bit of ground. He's isolated. Oh, Dylan Vermette over the ball. Wide to Juan Videla, who's going to take it in. Maybe not the ball carrier you want in that exact situation, but did a good job.
Some great tackling for Vancouver Wave.
Regan O'Gorman breaks a tackle and keeps driving those legs. They need a quick ball there. Din Bandu back inside to Captain O'Toole. He's going to offload it to George Daly. We go. It's a big Regan O'Gorman again. He's getting wrapped up there. Van East needs to keep that ball moving.
O'Daly's got it again. He's going to have it go himself, is he? Offload to Din Bandu.
Din Bandu's another big body there. James Catterson. Oh, we got Gelbart wide. He's getting closer. Something going off the ball there between Din Bandu and McQueen.
Looks like 2 players for the Wave tied up against Din Bandu, so that's a good advantage for Van East. 1 player tying up 2. Good smart play by Din Bandu.
Van East seem to have numbers left. They're content to go with the big boys in tight, but they do have numbers left if they can make it there. Inching closer, but they've been inching closer for a long time without hitting that line. So I don't know exactly how close they are now, but looks like it's going to be held up, is it?
Yeah, I think he either deemed someone going off their feet on behalf of the Vancouver Wave or in the side, but it is going to be a penalty. Still a bit of life here. They do need a converted try just to tie the game.
So they got to score in close. Without Jeff Ryan, the confidence on the kick from the sideline probably not there with the Van East team. So they're going to pick it up.
They have the advantage again, so they can try something here if they want to.
There we go. Big Dan Cooper. Wave or feisty out there? Who was number 20? Oh, it's Brian Moylette again. Seems to be involved in every off-the-ball thing going on here.
Ref has blown this one to a stop. He's going to put his hand in his card for a couple of repeat infractions. So time is up, but if there is a penalty, we will play until the ball goes dead. So that is a bit of a team yellow card, I think, for... Not sure if he gave it to the captain or who exactly got it, but yeah, it was a yellow card, yeah.
It was a big hit there. They're getting close. With a big body, David Din Bandu, I question why we don't have the a big crash ball from the big guy in the centers.
Oh, second reach. Does the ref give it? No. Looks like he deemed it as a second movement,
Wow.
maybe. I see him blowing it off, but was there any advantage? Unclear if he had called advantage over. Yeah, it looks like he had. It's going to be a penalty to the Wave, and that's gonna seal the game, I think.
Should have crashed Din Bandu through the centers. Maloney going to make sure he reaches touch here. That's what's most important. Which he certainly does.
Well, I thought that was time, but I think because they kicked it out on a penalty rather than tap the ball first, if he had to tap the ball and kicked it out, it would be game over. So it looks like this is the last play of the game. Probably not the smartest play by the Wave. They could have just tapped it and kicked it out the side.
Well, big line out here. Maybe we have our times off. Good bounce there for the Wave right into the hands of Jake Aikida. Van East had every opportunity to get that ball back. That's out of bounds. That looks like that's going to be game. Yes, it is. So your final score is going to be Vancouver Wave 16, Van East 9. Next week, Van East is on the road to UVic. Vancouver Wave. Sorry, bear with me as I check the schedule here. Vancouver Wave are also away to Vancouver Island Crimson Tide. These teams might share the ferry on Saturday together.
Could be a bit of fun on the way back if they both pick up a couple of W's.
Do people party on the ferry on the way back from rugby games from the island?
I've heard rumors.
Really? I was completely unaware. Well, we're going to sign off for today, but a great game from Burnaby Lake here. In fact, a great day of rugby at Burnaby Lake. This being the 4th game played here at the field today. So congrats to the Vancouver Wave, and good effort there from Van East. You know, they'll have a lot of information to glean if they come back and watch themselves here in the video.
Yeah, lots for the coaches to pick up on. I'm sure they'll have a regroup. I'm sure they'll get their heads high tonight. They were pretty good performance overall. I mean, Vancouver Wave just nudging at the end, but a pretty good game overall. They'll be happy enough.
Yeah, I think they're going to feel a little hard done by when they see the Dinbandu penalty there. That was a turning point here in the second half, and hard hits are penalties now, apparently. That's the rules.
That's the way the game is going.
It does seem to be. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is. Anyway, great game of rugby, and congrats to Vancouver Wave, and thanks for everybody that made the game possible today. So, again, next week we'll see Vancouver Wave at Crimson Tide over in Vancouver Island, and Van East travel over to UVic. So unless you got something else to say, Mike, we're signing off.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody today.